This video was brought to you by Fly High Alkaline Water. Be the best.
All right, here we go. It's your boy Brocky, man. Whiskey and Kicks, sipping with Brocky time. I have a very special guest on the show today. This is Sonja, aka So Dram Good. Right? Did I get that right?
Yes, you did.
How you doing?
Great. I'm phenomenal.
Yeah?
Yes, it is amazing here today and in the DMV. I mean, you can't get any better than
This is it's December what 4th, and
Yes.
it's like it's been in the 60s and 50s.
Yeah.
Like it's good. But y'all, I mean, I just came from I'm from Rochester, New York originally, and I just visited for Thanksgiving, and it was snowing and stuff up there. So
Brocky, keep talking about whiskey and kicks.
it's good to be back. Where are you from originally?
Pennsylvania.
PA, where at?
Yes. 20 minutes outside of Philadelphia.
Okay.
Suburbs. Yeah. Main line.
Where?
The main line.
Okay. I'm a big Philly fan. I've been there a long, not Philly, not sports wise, but you know, Philly was like a home away from home. My boys from Mount Airy. Okay. So yeah, we spent a lot of time up there on Philomena. Yeah.
Like I know exactly where that is.
Yeah. And matter of fact, I got a bottle of whiskey from some dude's Urban Whiskey Life out of Philadelphia, and I'll show it to you before you leave and everything.
Yeah.
But so outside of Philly, so what brought you down here?
I needed a change. My mom passed in 2018.
Sorry to hear that.
Thank you so much. And in 2012, I made a decision to move to Alexandria. And I deferred that for 8 years.
Wow. So you had it in your mind already.
Oh yeah, I most certainly did.
And so, okay. So this is just a few years ago. So what were you doing in Philly, like professionally? Were you already into whiskey and stuff at that point?
Yes.
Oh, you were? Mm-hmm. You said that like, yeah.
But I did not go as hard until I moved to Virginia because I was in boxes for a year. So people were like, oh, you're not moving, you're not going nowhere. And I was out. Like I just pulled the plug one day. I hired a moving company, went through 3 in one day to be precise. So, you know, the forces of nature were working against me.
Right.
You know,
it happens sometimes.
I think my baby sister was praying against it. You know, she was really emotional. You know, after you lose a parent, a sibling, whoever, it's just really tough for, you know, family to start going their separate ways. But sometimes you just have to branch out and you have to, you know, dig deep into your passions. Yeah, and that's when you start defining yourself and molding yourself even more.
So, all right. So how many? Let's not move along too far because this is Whiskey and Kicks. So let's toast. Let's cheers and toast to your mom. Let's do that.
Thank you so much. Yes.
So what we have here is something. You told me that you're into ginger, and I had never made a ginger cocktail. So this is a deconstructed whiskey ginger. Right, I'm calling it deconstructed because I didn't just pour ginger ale in this. 2 ounces of. That's nice. Mm-hmm. That's nice. 2 ounces of.
This is good.
4 Roses, single barrel, and then I made a ginger lime simple syrup last night, and then I just topped it off with Prosecco to give the like ginger ale type of feel.
Okay.
But it's all alcohol.
Very nice. Yes, it is. Like, you're a little heavy on that orange here, you know?
Well, you know.
But it's good. It's delicious. And it's refreshing.
It is. It's not bad, right? This is a dangerous drink, actually. And I forgot to put like a lime in there, whatever. I forgot to garnish it.
Prosecco is just...
Prosecco works out?
Yes, it does.
It's not bad.
No, not at all. It speaks to you.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna show up. It's gonna show up. Mm-hmm. Trina will be here soon. I ain't gonna let her have one. She's gonna be gone. I need to put that Prosecco in the fridge.
That's my new whiskey girlfriend. Oh my goodness. You're like, which one? Whiskey or what? I was like, whiskey. Like, she did whiskey good.
So, how many siblings do you have growing up?
My brother, 3 sisters, and my brother passed of cancer.
Oh, wow.
My mother passed of cancer.
Wow. Jeez.
Yes, my brother passed fairly young, 54.
Wow. Very
War
young.
vet, so he had been through some things, and he was like my hero.
Yeah.
And that's when I, saw the devastating effects of that disease and how it affects family, friends, community. And one of the greatest things about our whiskey community is that when someone's going through something like that, whether it's with a family member or, themselves individually, we rally around them.
Yeah.
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 We do bottle drives, charity, so on and so forth. So it's just amazing to have that support, that extended family and support system going on.
Yeah, it's a dope thing. A lot of togetherness in this community. And it goes across regions too, but definitely within each region, you definitely I know this region for sure. I can speak for DMV. It's a lot of togetherness.
Yes.
But I spend a lot of time around a lot of bartenders, which is actually a part of, but they're kind of separate from the whiskey community. They have their own community, and that's a whole different level of togetherness.
Yes. I was in that community, that world, my early 20s, but I eventually went away from it. There were some struggles, some challenges in that industry when I was in my early 20s. So you were more driven towards hospitality than you were being the front-facing person in the industry. And although I even went overseas to California to get additional training and to actually open up additional restaurants, I evenally just left that industry, that part of the industry.
The service industry in that
regard, yes.
Right. Okay. So was that your introduction to, kind of booze to a degree?
Yes, that was.
We won't say whiskey yet.
That's right.
All right. So booze. I get it. I'm painting a picture. And so you did that for a while. So when you went away from it, were you away from the booze industry as a whole?
Well, I remained in the hospitality industry, but I went to another part, which was, more hotel management. Okay. So I moved away from restaurant, but our internal workings were a restaurant. We had actually 3 top tier restaurants in Pennsylvania under our roof, and it is now known as the Valley Forge Casino. So I managed that establishment, and many years prior to it becoming that, but we had a grand restaurant there that was known for their different types of spirits offerings and things.
Okay, so I like to move around a little bit, right? In the conversation, it just helps me. The way my brain works, it's like a puzzle, right? You put a piece together over here, you put a little piece together in the corner, and then all of a sudden you have a picture. So, growing up, up there, who were you in school? Were you the athlete? Were you the shy person?
No, you didn't.
Who were you back then? Because like I said this off camera.
I need to sip some more.
Her Instagram is all whiskey. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna have to ask some questions to find out a little bit more, because this is about the people more than it really is about the booze. Go for it.
Okay, I wasn't prepared for that one. And let me tell you, he's unscripted, so I love it.
Yeah.
And it's my first time ever being asked that question on film. I'm shy. I'm an introvert. And I would say that, whiskey projects, things of that nature, are my window to the outside. Ooh. And have helped me with my from being socially fucktarded, as I say sometimes, I was not awkward, but I was so introverted and so shy, nerdy at the same time. I was the person everyone came to when they just wanted to sit and talk, have someone to listen to, wanted to find out which new book to read, help with paper, so on and so forth. So I was that person. I was that confidant, so on and so forth, that support. Like I said, I really didn't have a large social network or group until I got into my mid-20s. And then I started like opening up, but still intimate.
Yeah.
You know, like I tell people, my circle's so small that it's a dot. You know, because everything
fantastic.
else is just your bonus.
Yeah.
You know, like you really don't have 1,000 friends.
Right.
But you know, you have 1,000 bonuses.
Right.
You know, and should you have a need, or you know, that day, if there's anything you need to receive, most of the time you're receiving it from that 1,000+ bonuses. You know, and that's an awesome thing. But I really love intimate social interactions and being able to just, you know, be my genuine self.
Yeah.
Because I can say that I don't suffer from imposter syndrome or anything along those lines, but there's times when you just don't know, you know, how to be. So you're just like, you got that tunnel vision, focus, man, you know, and you're laser sharp. And I don't always want to be like that. You know, I want to know that the group I'm around, those that I'm involving myself with, I can trust and go out from there.
That's deep. That's deep. And you know, you seem to have definitely a level of self that you identify who you are. You know who you are. It seems so. So you get done, you know, you get through school, you're a dot of a circle, and do you leave Philly and go to school? Do you stay and go to school? Do you go to the military? Like, what did you do after school?
I went into school.
Okay.
And I will say that because I have 4 sons, I halted my learning path. So at this point, I went from 6 classes in 2020 to now having 4 towards obtaining both my bachelor's and my MBA.
Nice.
So
it's and then never too late, yo.
It's Dr. Hunt. Okay?
Hey, so, that's what I'm talking about.
You know, that's the game plan.
Yes.
You know,
yes,
but you know,
I love it.
I was okay with deferring myself for the growth and forward momentum of my family.
I'm with you.
And supporting my now ex-husband, you know, then husband.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I haven't done yet because of my son. Shout out to Taj. I'll sacrifice for you, boy.
Yes.
So I wasn't paying that tuition right now, man.
Yes.
Okay, so all right. So
I don't regret a bit of it, though. You know.
No doubt. I mean, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
You know, sacrificing for another human being in itself is a beautiful thing. And much less
it's the most selfless thing that you could ever do. You know, to see your heart beat outside your body just like changes your whole perspective of life.
Yeah, it's something else right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 boys. Woo, they protective.
Yes. Yes. It's kind of hard to date, you know, because
right.
Every time I turn around, they're like, I know you got a man, mom, so I can run his background check. Like they're super heavy on the background checks and things.
Who is that?
You did ask also what I was doing. So, you know, I've done, you know, I've dabbled in some private sector work as well as, you know, some government work and things. I'm not... Y'all can't have that part of me. But, you know, I'm just at that stage where, you know, now I want to open up more of me to other people so that I can leave that quote unquote legacy.
Let's not jump ahead. That's my question in the end. Yeah, we'll talk about legacy in the end. If the whiskey doesn't get us too twisted out, forget my questions.
I see that I'm sipping just a little.
You banging that out right there.
I know, right?
It's a good first segment type of drink.
Yes.
Nice cocktail.
You done
really
good.
Worked out. Appreciate it. Shout out to all the bartenders.
I borrowed him just to make the drink.
Right. These bartenders, I've learned a lot of stuff from these guys, so I appreciate them all. So it's a lot of life that got, you know, life that got lived, raising your boys and all this kind of stuff. So this idea of relocating, because the Air Force brought me down here, right? I joined the military a long time ago, and that brought me here. And typically people are like, well, school brought me here, military brought me here, my parents brought me here when I was a teenager. But this is a conscious decision of your own.
That's right.
That you said, you know what, it's time for a change. Like, can you speak to that process from just the thought process of saying, you know, you're so established, you already have 4 boys.
Yes.
And taking that leap?
I will say, you know, this is about to be testimony, okay? And I'm loving this. It feels so good. You know, it's deep down in my soul because I believe that it's going to help someone.
That's
you know?
that's another.
It's going to speak to someone else.
Yeah.
I love the question. It's stepping out on faith. I came down here with no job. I lost my contract in February of 2020. I had a 6-figure contract with a client. My client from 2019 actually had to say, you know, we can't do it because everything's frozen right now.
Oh man, yeah.
And I had to scale back, but I didn't let that stop me. I pushed forward in faith, and not only that, my fear. That's been the hardest thing for me, facing my fears and just plowing through them. So I was like, you got this. Like, I knew who my mama was, and for some reason she was speaking to me, and at one point she instructed me to be still. So I was still when I needed to be still. And then at another point she instructed me to move. So I moved when I needed to move. And doing that, I will tell you, my ex-husband called me a week after my move, and it was very emotional. Very emotional. He said, thank you so much. He said, because that's what I needed to go forward. And it spoke to me. It hit me hard in my chest.
That's heavy.
But he said, I commend you. He said, you did something that it takes most people to be coupled up with someone or to, you know, be doing it for. He said, you just up and did it. And that's what I did. I pulled the plug.
Yeah, that is no joke, yo. Like, because I understand, like, wanting to do certain things and then not being able, you're able to do it, but not being able to do it because of your kids and stuff like that. And like, I can't make that move right now. I got to do this, and that, and the third. But you was like, it's time to do it.
I was like, I'm out.
Sorry, Philly. You know what I'm saying? She belongs to DMV now. With the expertise, we'll get into in a minute.
I will say that, and I don't like mentioning this because no one likes to give this any more power than it needs. But COVID-19 was a blessing and a curse.
That's real.
You know, it was a blessing and a curse.
That's real.
Who would have moved during COVID?
Right, yeah.
With no job.
Yeah, everything was frozen, you know. So yeah, everything was frozen, and it almost allowed you to do a few things without the type of consequences that you would have faced if things were open.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that was another side of COVID. Like, a lot of people came up. I'm not talking about y'all scammers who took those loans and bought Rolexes and shit like that. I'm not talking about y'all. But a lot of people during COVID started businesses and that flourished.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So there's the other side to this.
Yes.
You know, you benefited off of this pandemic. There's no shame in that. I understand that. I
like that you mentioned businesses. So I had to put my second business on the back burner, and that was a, online boutique.
Oh.
In which I had, front-facing interactions with my customers. Mm-hmm. Sure, you've been to the DC Jazz Fest. My last DC Jazz Fest was 2019. 2020, we were in the works, and COVID. So, I had to scale back on that. I'm a jewelry designer.
Okay,
as well.
I was about to ask. All right.
So I became a formally trained jewelry designer. I like knocking shit out. I mean, life is short. Why not become all that you can be and do everything that your heart desires?
You're also big on formal education.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because we'll get into the whiskey stuff in a second, y'all. We got stuff to talk about there, and I see it. You know what I'm saying? The college, and then the jewelry, whatever you do, you like to be formally educated on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do.
That's dope. I'm with it. I'm here. I'm learning. I love learning.
Thank you.
But I love my education informal. I don't want to go to school. Y'all know that.
I'm done with that. I tapped out.
Done.
Tapped out.
But let's go ahead and break, and then we're gonna get to some whiskeys. I think we got enough of your personal business out there.
Yeah.
And we're gonna talk some whiskey. Is that cool?
Okay.
We're gonna talk some whiskey now, right? Yeah. And you brought something. This is, that's the alkaline, that's the tap.
Mm-hmm.
Can you use the alkaline? The tap is better to cleanse your palate, right?
Yes, the tap is better.
Yeah, and you brought, I think you might be one of the first to bring a bottle of whiskey onto the show.
Really?
I believe so. This is a beautiful bottle, and I'm big on bottles.
Thank you.
So what do you got there?
This is Blue Run, and Blue Run is the brainchild of Michael Montgomery and Tim, both CEOs and of co-CEOs. We gotta edit that.
Yeah.
So this is Blue Run, and Blue Run is new on the market. It's only a year in, and last year during their inaugural, which was fall, they dropped a gem. And ever since, I've been on board with them. So this is their cask strength, which goes back to their Golden Rye, I believe, that was released in the fall of this year, 2021. And I just want to dig into it because you cracked it. It was a fresh pop here on the show.
Yeah, we poured it before the show to let it do its
thing. Yes. And this is their Pollock Butterfly, just so you know.
Oh, okay.
So again, it's a beautiful bottle.
It's a beautiful bottle. I've seen this bottle.
Yes.
Beautiful bottle, man. They did a great job with that.
Yes, the aesthetics are there. But let's choose.
This bottle tells me, sit, do not mix this with stuff. That's because it's not a bartender.
This is force of habit. I have to smell before I taste.
Yeah, this is you want to pick stuff up, right?
Yeah.
Any tips for the people? Because you're big, like I said, education. Even with wine, any tips for a nosy?
It's all about you. So it's what your experience, how you do it. Some people do it with their mouth open, deep whiffs, and other people go.
That's true. That's true.
Nostril to nostril. It's all about your comfort zone and learning what works best for you to actually bring out the best of the bottle. That is phenomenal.
Oh, wow.
I will say right now, salute guys, this is phenomenal.
Yo, listen. This is rye. Okay, I'm about to say this is a hot sipping bourbon, but it's a rye. This is a nice and hot. This is nice. Very nice.
This is their cask strength, so it's straight from the barrel.
Yep.
Of course.
But it's only coming in at 106.
Which is phenomenal because the taste, now it hits your palate. This is good.
Very nice. I'm a fan. This is good. I've been seeing these guys. It's my first time trying it, y'all.
Mike, Tim, phenomenal.
Very good.
Master blender and distiller, phenomenal. Oh my goodness.
Blue Run, talk to me, baby. Okay. Hand bottled in Bardstown. Exceptionally complex straight rye whiskey. They're right. It is complex. It's fruity for me. Right?
Yes.
I feel like a wine person just showed up somewhere on my show. I just felt this wine energy just show up just now. I don't know what it is. Go ahead and walk through. Yeah, so very nice. It is so hot. It's so hot, y'all.
I want you to use some of the tap, and then I'm going to give you some of the espresso that I brought, the fresh ground espresso, so that you can reset your palate so that you can have the full experience.
Okay. Okay, so good. You said espresso. You want me to? I had tap water, and then now I have to sniff espresso, right?
Yes.
To
So
cleanse
what I'm
the
doing
palate.
is, I'm trying to my best to reset you. Okay. So that another whiff. I just.
I was just saying the other day how I love the smell of ground coffee beans, but I cannot stand the
This
taste
is
of
fresh ground espresso. I did this morning, just for him.
And then,
and then like maybe one.
The
Saltine.
the carbs.
He's avoiding the carbs. That's what I'm talking about.
Talk to me.
So,
All right.
have you had your tap water?
I did.
Okay,
I had
good.
tap water.
So now I want you to nose again.
Okay, so all of a sudden, it's sweeter on the nose.
It changes.
No lie.
Just like that.
Just like that. I'm gonna have to order some damn espresso just to have in my house.
It even changed for me. And
Did it?
yes.
Yep. It's sweeter all of a sudden. That's crazy.
Prime your palate. And then go in again.
I'm sipping this whiskey. Y'all just watching this?
This
is nice.
I am not paid to say this.
This is not a commercial, y'all.
Okay, this is not a commercial. Tim can attest to this. They haven't given me a dime. This is bomb.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
This
no lie.
strength rye from Blue Run is absolutely delicious, and hopefully you got a bottle. I don't know if it's sold out yet, but hopefully you got a bottle, because they're releasing other bottles and I see them flying and going into being in sold out status. So hopefully you got this.
Did they barrel their own stuff?
What was that?
Did they barrel their own stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice. Yes. I'm gonna add a drop of water in mine. This one. Because it was interesting, because the beginning was much fruitier and now it's much sweeter. Like so now that took it back. It's nuts. This is all science, y'all.
A delicious experience. I don't normally swirl. You see me doing that because right now I'm a little confused, because I'm perplexed as to how something can be so delicious from a company whose inaugural bottle dropped in fall of 2020.
Yeah, that's impressive.
It's really impressive. So,
all right, your whiskey journey.
Yes.
So we got all the stuff in the beginning, right? And then at some point, you had this interest in whiskey. How did that happen?
Got me talking about my mama again.
All right.
So I became ill. This is the, short version of it. I became ill. I called mom up like we always do. Hey, mom, I'm sick. What's going on? What can you tell me to do? We're huge in my family. We're indigenous, so we have a huge indigenous background. So we like to do things holistically and naturally. And she said, go get this. So she gave me ingredients: lemon, ginger, although I didn't use the ginger, and some sugar, and then she said whiskey. Mind you, my mom hadn't taken a drink in over 40 something years at that point. And I went and did it. Not only would that be my introduction to whiskey, but that would also be known as a hot toddy.
Yep. I'm sitting here just smiling like,
knocked it right
I know
out.
That is
whatever it was, it knocked it right out of me, and I I was sold from there forward, you know, but
Whiskey is magical.
yes,
It's
but
the
I
reality.
fell in love with Jim Beam. That was my first whiskey that I had that didn't put hairs on my chest, and people weren't shoving in my face in the industry during my 20s like, here, taste this. Tell me if this is good. You know,
People
what do you
don't
think of
tend to
this?
shove Jim Beam in people's faces.
Yeah.
I haven't experienced that either.
So, you know, although I had, you know, had experienced it sooner, I didn't have an appreciation for it until later in my 20s.
So was Jim Beam, that was your first whiskey ever in that hot toddy? No, Jim Beam?
That was my first whiskey I enjoyed.
Okay, gotcha.
That's
All right. Okay.
It was on my terms, aka mama's terms, but it was on my
Right.
terms, you know?
So all of a sudden, so this light comes on, right? And so there has to be a gap between that and when you started to explore whiskey, right? Because for me, right, I was a rum guy, a gin and a rum guy, but it was just gin and lime juice when I was running around the clubs partying. Don't ask questions. I was out there. Okay. All right. And then rum was my thing. And all of a sudden I discovered that there's all these other rums besides the ones that we see commercials about. And all right, these beautiful bottles, and that kind of sparked my whole booze journey. There had to be something between then and what really told you that there's another level to this.
Oh, yeah. So rum and vodka was my jam.
There you go. Rum is great.
You know, my eyes starting to twitch. Before whiskey came about, once I was introduced to whiskey, both my, you know, then husband and I started collecting. He went into the cigar path as well, which I noticed correlates most of the time with whiskey. And I decided to stay straight whiskey. So I started collecting. One of the brands that I fell in love with immediately was Wild Turkey. Oh my goodness. Like, to some people it's funk. To me, it's that funk that can't get no better.
Listen, Wild Turkey is fantastic. That 101 is beautiful.
Yes. So when people, you know, in the past, people that saw my collection at the estate before, you know, I moved to Virginia and things, they was, oh my goodness, you need to broker this, you need to get someone. I even had an offer from a top auction house that wanted to deal with my collection at that time. And I chose to keep my collection to myself and to drink it. You know, so for everyone that was out there, so for everyone that was out there bottle hunting, popping, all that stuff and everything, I was enjoying my stuff. Trust me. So, you know, I just feel that it's an intimate experience. If you can get with a brand, you know, that's a great thing. But when something speaks to you and it hits your soul, it just becomes like your love language.
Yeah, indeed.
And Wild Turkey became my love language.
Nice. Okay, so where were you physically at this point? Were you in Philly still or down here?
I was in, I was outside.
I mean, excuse me, Pennsylvania. Pardon.
Yeah, you know, us suburbanites are always going to say,
I respect you not claiming Philly because you're from the, so I get it. I understand. So you were in Pennsylvania at this point.
Yes, the main line.
Right.
You know, so I chose that path, and then during my downsizing and moving and going through life changes and things, I decided to put most of my collection into storage. It would not be until I came across a group of individuals that I would start to bring it out again and refamiliarize myself with the past. So it was like a nostalgic journey, intimate at the same time, and a different approach to whiskey.
Got you. I couldn't imagine putting what your collection, how much was it at that point? When you put
in storage right now is over 200 bottles.
Ooh, you don't think about specific bottles and you're like, I wish I had that with me right now.
I
But
know,
it's in storage.
because inside of my current dwelling is about 300 bottles.
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and just package my shit up. I'm gonna package my shit up. That's why when she came here, she just walked right by my little collection. But it's cool though. I get it. I understand.
He has a great collection, everyone.
I have a very nice collection.
He has a really nice collection.
But I'm not a collector.
Yes.
I buy to drink, and I'm not saying you don't, but there is a difference between someone who just buys a drink and buys a bunch of bottles to drink and a collector. A collector is a different thing.
Yes.
So,
well, I would say that I'm no longer a collector, and that is because I've gone so deep. I've dived so deep that I found eating. I found my eating, y'all. So one of the things I decided to do in 2020 is to deepen my education in whiskey.
She's driving her own interview at this point. Go, please. That was next. Go. Go.
So, I decided to step outside of my realm of this lifestyle that I once lived, and, collecting these bottles to actually going into craft brands and craft distilleries and finding out, what drives pure passion. Again, I want to leave a legacy for my sons. That is what Mama, wants to do. And for me, that is being able to say, I came, I did all that I could, I maxed it out, and there's my stamp. And with that, it requires education.
Yeah.
It requires immersing yourself into the industry. And it also requires, humbling yourself and letting down your guard and being able to say, I'm here to learn.
Yeah.
I want to align myself with like individuals that are about, putting out knowledge to pay it forward. And that's what I'm looking to do.
Dope.
To pay it forward.
No, you're not. Okay, yeah. Because you're already on a path. You're doing it, and I see that. I see you're teaming up and collaborating with people that and putting yourself in a position to be in the distilling process. You're in the barrel rooms. So what do you want to get out of that besides the legacy and that part of it? But what do you want to do with it? Do you want to eventually be a distiller, your own brand? I mean, we don't have to let too much out. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get the Whiskey and Cakes exclusive.
I've distilled. So therefore, I'm aligned with the distiller.
Yeah.
However, I give it up to the men and women that walk into these distilleries every day, and most of the time their names are not known. So for me, I call out the Marianne Eves. I call out those people that give opportunities to other people that advance them, and also open up other doors. And like I said, it's all about paying it forward. And it gets a little emotional because my son is an alcoholic. My oldest son is an alcoholic. And one of the things I said to do was to show him that there's responsibility also behind this industry. This industry, although it can knock your socks off, is also about, courage. It's about conviction. VA Distillery, I'm sorry, I'm stealing that from y'all right now. But, it's also about stepping out on faith and being able to say, I own this and I've done this, and there's other people that can do this.
Indeed.
And we can do this. If you have a passion, you can dive into it.
Yep. You
can take it forward. You can get your name on a bottle. I distilled a single malt this summer. Summer myself. So alongside another master distiller. So I give kudos to anyone that's in this industry. It's not an industry in which you overnight become a millionaire. For some people, they believe, you can step in and you're master distiller and you're making $500,000 a year.
No, that's not it, y'all. That's not it.
The only thing I can say is you have to have passion about it.
Yeah.
You have to be driven. And you also have to align yourself again, and I'll keep going back to that because my circle is small, remember, it's like a dot, with like-minded individuals.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it's at.
Okay.
Having fun with it.
So,
rocking out to your vibe.
Bouncing back to the first part of this segment, this show.
Mm-hmm.
How was that? Once you got into the whiskey industry, right, and you're moving around a little bit, you're discovering your passion,
yes.
right? You're like, wow, I really love this. I'm feeling this. How was that process, since you are an introvert? Now within this whiskey community, you said you discovered that there's a community, and I need to start reaching out and collaborating with these people.
It was a little tough. I will say. But I'm someone that will grab your coattail in a heartbeat and learn from you.
Yep, that's good.
I am a sponge.
That's good.
At the end of the day. Learning is one area that, although self-driven, I also am humble. So because of that, I allow those gurus to have their way.
Yeah, they got there for a reason.
That's right. That's it. At the end of the day, you have to respect that. You have to give homage to those that came before you.
Yeah.
Those that are doing it. Also, although the process may be, mundane or whatever it is that you deem it to be. Mm-hmm. They did it already. You're trying to do it. So humble yourselves, fall back, and just allow yourself to learn.
Indeed.
That's it.
I dig it. Yeah. So what's next?
Ooh. So I've been working on Whiskey Cookbook has now become Bites and Pours.
Okay, is this something that's already publicly known? Okay, good. Because I will cut stuff out if we start. The whiskey will get you talking a little bit, and sharing stuff that you shouldn't be sharing. So this is out there. Okay, so it's Bites and Pours.
Oh, it gets me slurring, but not sharing stuff.
I slur without whiskey. Shout out to Eric Sermon.
I'm well trained, y'all. Okay. So I decided to take it into another direction. Mm-hmm. I was met with adversity. Oh, I have a cookbook. And, my cookbook is doing this and I don't want to share with you, although I like what you're trying to do. I said, I'm not doing a cookbook.
I like what you're trying to do.
So because the moniker was a little confusing for some people.
The Whiskey Cookbook.
Yes, they thought I was trying to start a cookbook. So now you got Bites and Pours. Oh, so I'm a little sorry about that. You're going to have to sit back and wait for what's to come of Bites and Pours. Of course, it's sharing Bites and Pours and pairing. But at the end of the day, I'm proud of where this is going.
Okay.
And how it's manifest and grown over the last year.
What's the concept?
Bites and Pours.
Okay, exactly what it sounds like.
Yes,
all right, I dig it. I dig it.
And it's those behind. I'm going to go even.
They go hand in hand.
A little bit deeper into who's behind the bites and the pours, because at the end of the day, it's about paying it forward. It's about mentioning those names that people may not know. Okay. This person manufactured and made the pasta that's on the plate, but who actually cooked it? So you're going to find out about that, who the chefs are, who the baristas are, who the bartenders are, the mixologists, you name it.
That's dope.
The brands,
Because everybody deserves to be acknowledged.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So many people.
Yes.
And that's the concept here of Whiskey and Kicks, right? You get this cocktail, and there's blood, sweat, and tears that went into this cocktail. All the way back to hauling the corn, the tons of corn to a distillery to start that, to contribute to that mash bill.
He up in there. He pours already.
You know what I mean? So that's a beautiful thing to pay homage. So let's go ahead. Let's hit this last question, right? Somewhat like that. So we touched on this in the beginning, but I want you to really tell people what you want your legacy to be. It's clear that it's important to you. Your legacy.
It's the simplest of all. I came, I saw, I conquered. But at the end of the day, Mama's name is there. And then my sons know our name can be there as well.
Dope.
My friends know their name can be there. You know that your name can be there as well. It's about paying it forward. That's all that it's about. Knowledge is to be shared. Creativity is freedom. Anyone that challenges that for you, you need to second think. You need to put that third eye on. At the end of the day, you can go as far as you want to, and you can be anything that you want to be, as long as you believe in it first.
And that's, listen, y'all, listen. This is what it's about, right? So she's a student, right? You can be a teacher and a student at the same time.
Yes.
And if you're not, you're doing something wrong.
That's right.
Right? You're doing something wrong. So that's what it's all about. That's, paying it forward. That's exactly what that is. So dope. I love it. I love it.
Thank you so much.
I love it. How should people find you? They want to.
You can find me on Instagram at So Dram Good. Please do not hit up my personal Instagram. You will be rejected. And you can find me on Facebook at Sonja D Hunt. I'm just out there again trying to get everything as much as I can and share that with you all, this journey, this blessing. I believe it is. So
dope, man. I appreciate you. I'm glad you made it. I'm glad we finally made this happen.
Yes.
Right? There's a couple of
6 months in the works. What? Yes. 6 months in the works.
This whole concept of things happen when they're supposed to happen, I may be taking that a little too far. Maybe. I have to self-analyze, but things really do happen when they're supposed to happen.
That's right.
And that's where we're at now. I appreciate you. I love the enthusiasm, the passion behind what you're doing, because I went to do some research on her Instagram and ain't nothing but whiskey there. So, and that's cool. I know you probably had a whole other Instagram. There's some Sonja spelled with a W or something that people will never find and something like that.
But I will also say, and I'll interject with this last point. There is also a podcast that I belong to.
Okay.
Black and Spirited, and they are doing great things. And I'm so blessed to be welcomed into this family and to see where they are going as well, and to support their journey.
Okay, Black and Spirited. I don't think I know that one.
Yes.
All right, I had to look them up, man. Shout out to Black and Spirited. Shout out to ex-husband. He was shouted out a couple times on the show.
Today is his birthday.
Today's his birthday. Shout out to ex-husband. 4 sons. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to Tracy Franklin. Shout out to Fawn Weaver. You know what I'm saying? All the people. And Marianne.
I love Marianne.
Marianne.
Fawn, Tracy. Yes. And everyone else, that is out there doing the damn thing and figuring out their way.
Indeed.
Yes.
We out of here, man. This is your boy Brocky. So Dram Good. And it's a wrap.
Yes. Thank you.
Brocky, keep talking about whiskey and kicks.